I've been using Git for about 15 years, and I thought I knew what a merge conflict was. Then I tried to make this video explaining merge conflicts, and I realized I have no idea what I'm doing, which is great because merge conflicts have always been confusing for me, and now I understand why. So in this video, we're going to use the new merge editor experience in Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to show you why you might not fully understand what a merge conflict is, and together, we're going to become masters of the merge. You've seen this before. You've got the current change, which is your commit, and you've got the incoming change, which is the other person's commit, and that's the merge conflict, right? Well, yes, but that's actually only part of the bigger picture. There's actually a third commit in the mix here that's called the base, and it is the common ancestor of both your change and the change that you have a conflict with. Now, this made zero sense to me the first time I heard it, so let's look at a little demonstration. Let's say you have a main branch. Each time you change the main branch, you make a commit. Now, let's say at this point, you decide to make a feature branch to do some other work. That branch is created from the main branch at this commit right here, commit number 2. While you are working on your feature branch, let's assume that other people make changes to the main branch with commits 3 and 4. And some of those changes are on the same lines that you changed in your feature branch. The common ancestor, or base, between your branch and the current commit on the main branch is commit number 2. Now, why does this matter? When you try and merge your feature branch back into main, Git compares your commit with the base. That's how it knows that you've changed something. It also compares the current commit on main, which is the incoming change, with the base, and it sees that your feature branch and the current commit both change the same line. And that's how you end up with a merge conflict. Okay, let's see how this plays out in real life using Visual Studio Code. By default, VS Code displays a merge conflict as 2 sets of changes in the same file. You can use the buttons to accept your change, accept the incoming change, or just take both changes and resolve it yourself. In this experience, you don't actually see the base that Git is using for the comparison. It hides all that from you, so all you see are your changes and the incoming changes. This experience works very well when you know exactly what you want. For instance, in this case, we can see that in one change there's single quotes, and in the other change there's backticks. We can easily discern that we want either single quotes or backticks and accept that change. In this second change, it's not that simple. There's a lot of changes here and they look very similar, and it's very hard to reason about which change we want to keep, which change we don't want to keep, and which change we want to combine, and maybe we don't want any of these changes. But we don't know because we can't actually see the base. We only have part of the picture. We only know what the changes are, not what the actual state was that we changed from. And this is why merge conflicts are so frustrating. So VS Code has introduced a brand new merge editor experience where you can actually see the base. You can toggle into the new merge editor experience by clicking the Resolve in Merge Editor button. When you click this button, you'll see that you now have 3 views here. Your changes, which are also called current, the changes that you're in conflict with, also called incoming, and a preview panel down at the bottom. With the new merge editor, you use the top 2 panes to resolve conflicts, building up a result that you can preview and edit before you accept the merge. The result pane here is what actually gets staged on your disk after the merge is completed. Okay, but what about the base? The base can be toggled on and off from the ellipsis menu here. You can either display it at the top or in the middle of the current and incoming changes. If you put your mouse on the right-hand side, you can see how the current changes differ from the base. In this case, I added a log statement. I changed the numbering on the parameters, I changed the log statement at the bottom, and I deleted one log statement. And if we put the cursor on the incoming changes, we can see how those differ from the base. The params are the same here, but a log statement was added, one was changed, and one was deleted down below here. Now, if this is too busy for you, you can also just compare the incoming and base by selecting Compare with Base, and you'll see just your changes in the base. The base appears on the left, and your changes appear on the right. You can do the same thing with the incoming changes. So what do we actually want here? Well, this is a contrived example, but if we look at this first conflict, let's say that yes, we do want this log statement. And although the way we're setting the parameters here is ultimately the same outcome, we like the way we're doing it in the current change. So in this case, it's pretty simple. We just select Accept Current. But then let's say we decide, actually, we do want this extra log statement from the incoming change. In that case, we can revert this and say Remove Current in the preview. And since we want both log statements, we can click Accept Combination on either the left or the right. When we do this, VS Code will smartly combine the changes for us. If you don't see the accept combination, that's because VS Code cannot automatically combine your changes. And this preview area here is editable. So let's say we accept the combination and then we decide that we do not want this extra logging statement. Well, we can just remove it right here in the preview. Now, notice the second conflict here. In this case, we might decide that the way that the base is doing this is actually what we want. Neither my changes or the incoming changes are better than what's in the base. Because our preview shows the base by default, we can just ignore both the current and incoming changes, which just gives us what's in the base already. When we do that, our conflicts remaining counter goes to 0, so we know that we've handled all of the conflicts. In the case that you want to just accept all of the changes from either the left or the right, you can click the ellipsis at the top and select Accept all changes from left or Accept all changes from right. When you've handled all the conflicts, click the Complete Merge button to stage the file. And if you want to go back to the inline experience, it's in the original file. So you can just close this and reopen that file. Note that if you save as you go, or if you have autosave on, you'll need to undo that in order to get back to the original merge state with just a Command or Control Z. And as a final tip, if you just want to cancel a merge altogether at any point, you can choose Abort Merge from the command palette. I hope this video has given you greater insight into what a merge conflict actually is, because if you can understand the concept of the base, you'll find that merge conflicts are much less frustrating and they make a whole lot more sense in the new merge editor experience in Visual Studio Code. By the way, this interface where you have the current, base, and incoming changes, it's also called a three-way merge. And now you know what that is, and you can brag about it at parties if that's the kind of thing that you talk about at the parties that you go to. Hey, if you liked this video, like this video and subscribe and check out some of these other videos. You'll love them, guaranteed.